Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, hello. How are you? I am Gabriella, and this is Success Tips from Experts. Welcome to our next episode where I am bringing to you guys an amazing expert, Miss Catharine O'Leary. Hey, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fabulous, especially because I get to talk to you.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Absolutely. And, I know you have some great content and some great information to share with our audience today. And you are quite the fabulous expert in your space. Will you share with us about your expertise?
Yeah, so I'm known as the quiz queen, and I didn't grow up wanting to be the quiz queen. I wanted to be the Wolf of Wall Street. So I went through business, became a corporate warrior, always in market research and consumer insight. Kind of a fancy way of saying a translator between corporate and the consumer. So asking a lot of questions of consumers about what they're doing, what they're using, what they want, why they buy that, taking that information and then translating it back to corporate so that they could use it to develop new products, develop new services, create marketing messages, campaigns, and even sales conversations. So fancy schmancy way of saying, basically getting corporate to listen to their consumers and being able to act on that information. So I did that for 25 years with the likes of Apple and Adobe and Pepsi.
So you didn't start out to be a quiz queen, but your background naturally led to exactly doing what you do today.
Exactly. And it was not always easy to make that connection. When I came out of corporate, I didn't quite know exactly how that kind of expertise would lend itself to kind of the entrepreneurial space.
So you already started telling us about your background. Can you share with us a little bit more about your experiences that led you down this path to this expertise?
Well, I was always very curious about why somebody would go to a grocery store and pick brand A over brand B, or go to, an electronics store and pick the blue iPhone versus the red iPhone or something like that. And there are reasons behind that. My background is actually I have a master's in economics, and so that kind of consumer behavior and those trade-off conversations were always very interesting to me. And market research allowed me to kind of delve into it and get all geeky, as I call it. I'm a big data nerd at heart. So getting into that, the reasons or the triggers that one person would do one thing, and then helping corporations actually work on that and develop those products and services based on knowing that maybe a gray iPhone is not really the thing that people want. They want the flashy blue or whatever it is. It comes down to as simple as colors or price points or brand and so on, and how much of each of those things actually will, encourage people to buy. Some people buy just on brand, and other people will price shop. And getting into that psychology of what people are doing that was the fun part.
Well, the other thing that's really interesting about what you just said is I'm a numbers person myself. I have a background for 30 years in the accounting space, and I'm one of those people, when you give me a statistic, I go, but most people don't, right? And so having someone like you, someone like me, where we can take that data, the statistics that people go deer in headlights or they check out, and translate that into language that the audience can actually absorb and take action with, is really cool.
Yeah, and for corporations it turns into dollars, but it does the same for entrepreneurs. The better that you understand your target audience, the better off you're able to serve them.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes though, when you're a big data person, it's hard to make that transition. And so having people like you that helps to bridge the language from the big data to the consumer, and from the entrepreneur that's the expert in their niche that the consumer everyday person isn't able to really understand the nuances of, is awesome. And using something like quizzes, like that's just amazing and brilliant that you came up with this fun, innovative way to bridge the two together. I love that.
Yeah, quizzes, I have so much fun. I mean, quizzes, I mean, they are a great way to build your authority, respect, and trust. They're a great way to shine your personality and like come up with fun questions. And they're also a great way to educate, be sure that you're talking to the right clients, because as I said, when I came into entrepreneurship, lead generation was really hard and it can be very expensive. I mean, I was, putting the money against Facebook ads. I was, trying to, post from dawn to dusk to do the organic and the one-on-one calls from here to heaven. Like that's just not the way that you want to do business. It was soul sucking. And this is just fun and gets people into your community, and it gives them something. You're giving them an answer to a question that they actually have, because your target audience so well that you're answering a question that is a burning question for them. So you're already giving value.
Absolutely. So, Catherine, I always ask our experts about their inspiration and their influence, because I feel like our audience is largely people who are on their way, on their path to their own expertise, and being able to hear what another expert's influence is really helps them to know that they can go find the same or similar influences. Will you share with us about yours?
Yeah, I mean, I love reading. I will read almost anything put in front of me, but I really got a lot out of Think and Grow Rich, considering that it's a book that was, developed in the 1920s or so. A lot of that information, and it wasn't called mindset at the time, but being a corporate warrior is one thing. Being on the entrepreneurial side is a completely different mindset. You have to get your mindset right. And that's where Think and Grow Rich really kind of helped me think through what that mindset needed to be, because it is a flip the switch conversation.
It really is. I totally agree. I was 25 years working for other people before I started my company, and it was a very, very different approach and environment. So I totally agree with you on that. Hello, hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them. Global Prosperity Academy, GPA, is a community of like-minded individuals that are heart-centered and mission-driven, focusing on high-level communication training, leadership development, and strategic community building. Take a look at the video in the link below and see how GPA is right for you.
It's time to take a vacation from processed foods. The ultimate lifestyle transformation kit will upgrade the way you look, feel, and perform, or will give you your money back, guaranteed. By taking a vacation from processed foods, you will detoxify your organs, cleanse your cells, and remove chemicals from your gut. And once you begin to nourish your cells and balance your hormones, you may notice increased energy, lower stress, deeper sleep, heightened mental clarity, improved digestion, and sexy lean muscle. Any of that sound interesting to you? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You already eat every day, and what you eat really matters. This is your chance to upgrade your food, upgrade your health, and upgrade your life.
So speaking of lifelong learning, if you could go back to your younger self when you were in college, high school, what one piece of advice would you give?
I would say, honestly, find a mentor that has done what you want to be doing and is already at a point where you want to be, and learn from them. They've already done all the hard stuff. They've already learned the hard knocks. Get with them and learn from them and cut your learning curve in half or more.
Absolutely. I have mentors as well. And one of the things that I was talking to several people about is accidental mentors, people who don't even know that they're your mentor.
Be open to the mentors. They're going to come in all shapes and sizes and ages. One of my mentors is much younger than I am. And if I just looked at his age, I'd probably walk away from him, but he's really able to connect the dots for me. You never know who it's going to be. So be open to it.
Absolutely. So if I were to ask you some of your best tips that entrepreneurs could take away from this conversation and go put into action, some of those things that you struggled with that maybe you could help them to have a little less struggle, what would you say?
I would say get very clear on your target audience. You can't serve everyone. If you're serving everyone, you're serving no one. So get as clear as you possibly can. It's only going to help you. And I would also say, make sure that you're having fun. You went on this journey to probably have some fun, get some freedom and do something that you're passionate about. Don't forget about that. Don't get so into the weeds that you forget about having that fun and building that authority and respect. And also just know that there's no magic silver bullet. Like the next course or the next something is not necessarily going to automatically make everything explode for you. It just takes time, and make sure that you're making decisions based on the long game.
Yeah, there are a number of big leaders out there that say, I'll give you one that you've probably heard. You can't go out in the yard and sit there and say, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, and suddenly they're gone. You actually have to figure out what's in front of you, take it in, and then go take action with it. So all that content is really critical and important, but you still have to take action, right?
Yeah, we're in a little bit of an information overload stage, I think, especially as we begin. You're just trying to learn everything, and you think that the next thing is the thing that's going to make it all work. And information without execution is just, it's interesting, but it's not effective. You need to actually apply it. And that's kind of the hard part. And that's the long game side of things.
Absolutely. Well, and then I'm going to go back to the quizzes. Once you figure out your audience and figure out what it is that you want to give to your market, figuring out how to get that market in is really critical as well. And using something like your quizzes being fun and interesting instead of the same thing that everyone is doing that you mentioned, we're kind of on information overload. It kind of changes, it gives a unique twist. I love that. I love unique twists on what everyone else is doing.
And it's value first, but it's also instantaneous. So you have to answer the question that you've promised that you're going to answer. So what I love about quizzes is that they take people on a little bit of a journey, but you get to navigate where they end up at the end of that journey. And you get to give them the aha moment that they're looking for. And it's a little like it's all smoke and mirrors to them, but it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy on your side because you built it backwards. So you built it from your offer and you reverse engineer everything so that when they take it, they go to the place that you wanted them to go. It's just that they take it from start to finish. That's not how you built it. You built it from finish to start. So, when they get to their aha moment, they're, oh my God, yes, time management is totally what's holding me back. Like Gab is like, oh my God, she's in my brain. Like, oh, how did she do this? Of course, I want to talk to her next.
And that's literally what every entrepreneur wants. We all want prospects. One of the things I talk to people about and I teach them is taking a wide group of prospects and bringing them into being qualified. And then when they're qualified, opening the conversation and moving them through the process. I love that your quiz basically is engineered to take on a good chunk of that and then allow them to self-qualify or self-select out.
Yeah, the quiz is actually designed. The question that you ask is the question your target audience has. If anybody else really does it, it's kind of like weird because it's like you've got this one question that your target audience is drawn to. So it should be by definition better quality leads because it's actually answering the question that your target audience has to begin with. So it's not a question for everyone. It's not supposed to bring everyone in and then vet them. It's supposed to only attract the people that you want to begin with.
Well, that's a much smarter way to market yourself and find your qualified prospects instead of the throw the spaghetti at the wall concept, isn't it?
Well, yes, and I've done that. Been there, done that.
I think most of us have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's expensive and it's time consuming. So don't do that.
And it can drain you in your head and in your emotions, thinking, why aren't people attracted to me? Now, with the quizzes, you're able to actually be way more specific.
Well, and you're only especially if you're doing one-on-one discovering calls right afterwards. I mean, those are like that's your most valuable resource as an entrepreneur is your time. So imagine you're only talking to 10 people, but they're qualified, they're ready to say yes. I mean, what kind of a difference would that make in your business on a weekly or monthly basis when you're not throwing 7 out of 10 away and only have 3 to talk to?
Absolutely. In my previous business, people called me and said, can I hire you? And 1 out of 4 weren't really qualified. And of the remaining 3 out of 4, I had almost 50% that became clients because, and that's considered a very high opt-in, but that's because they were already warm to hot leads when they were already contacting me. So what you're doing is a very similar version of people self-selecting into what the person that is using the quiz is doing. That is fantastic. And I think that is great advice for people to use methods such as those. It's, we get so burnt out on the churn. Well, this will literally change the game. On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hi, everyone. My name is Alan Raisman, the owner of thefunofworkingout.com. I'm a Beachbody coach, and on that website, you could try Beachbody workouts out at no cost. But today I want to highlight a wonderful nonprofit outside of Philadelphia. Keystone Opportunity Center provides food, housing, and education to over 5,000 people a year in Montgomery and Upper Bucks County. On their website, www.keystoneopportunity.org, you can learn about the mission, hear client stories, and learn how you can volunteer and support them. Again, my name is Alan Raisman, the owner of thefunofworkingout.com. I'm a Beachbody coach, and you can go to my website where you can try Beachbody out completely free. Thank you.
Catherine, how can people get a hold of you so that they can actually get their own quizzes, they can get coaching and guidance from you?
I would love to talk to anyone that wants to talk quizzes, because again, I mean, I can do this all day long, and I have for 25 years. So I am at thequizqueen.com, and the links are down below. But thequizqueen.com.
Absolutely, you guys, that will be below. And where can we find you on social media?
I am on Facebook and at Catharine O'Leary on Instagram.
Fabulous. And then we will make sure that the link is below so you can reach out, you can contact her on social media, you can send her an email once you go to her page, and you have an amazing offer for our audience. I personally plan on taking you up on it. Will you share that with us?
Yeah, so I put together my 5 best strategies for using quizzes to grow your email list, because that's one of the biggest benefits of quizzes is to actually get those qualified leads on your email list to start nurturing and start building your business. So everyone gets the 5 strategies for building your email list with quizzes. So that link again is down below.
Absolutely. We will make sure those links are down below in the show notes, in the descriptions. You guys go click the link, go get your copy, because using quizzes is going to be a game changer in your business. You are going to be able to totally change your strategy. You're going to be able to do less time doing the things that you've been struggling with and putting more time into the income producing activities when you do something like using quizzes. So figure out which one that you need by getting a copy of the 5 quiz strategy from Catharine, link below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you set your reminder so you know when our next episode is publishing. Catharine, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so glad we got to bring you to our audience.
Oh, well, thanks everybody. Have a great day and go out and get your quiz.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.